Alright everybody, Bald&curious here. Got this t-shirt Joey Gus gave me like 2 years ago and freaking guy only had an XL. For him XL is like a sleeping pajamas. So now that I lost the weight I can actually wear this. Anyway, so Romeo X5 Legion and Romeo 3 Max Pro. So I noticed when I was shooting the last couple of matches that especially Area 8 had a couple of longer shots, 20 yards, that you put that 6 MOA dot and it's kind of big at that distance. If there's a steel popper, you cover the whole popper with that. So one thing is you're gonna dial it down a little bit so it's not as bright. But that wasn't enough for me. So I found a screaming deal on Romeo 1 Pro. So I got one in 3 MOA. I had one before, and that's how I wind up with the Romeo 3 Max, because the original one shit the bed, and when I sent it in, they couldn't replace it because of whatever. And at the end, for $100 they upgraded me to Romeo 3 Max, which was a screaming deal. Now I'll put a picture somewhere. It's gonna be easier than comparing them side by side, because actually, let's do this. Let's do I'll show you this for one. Since there's no mounting plate and Romeo 1 Pro gets mounted directly to the slide, it sits much lower. It also have a smaller window, but the Romeo 1 Pro is just as wide, just not as tall. This is more rounded shape. So what I found out, if you put them both in a full brightness, just looking at it, they don't really, you can't really tell that one's twice the size of the other. And when it shines, I guess you can tell a little bit, but when you dial it down a couple of notches, so you don't have that full brightness and you don't have that starburst of the dot, that's when it shines, and now you can tell the dot is a lot smaller and it's still crisp. My whole idea on the beginning with the dot was go for a bigger dot because it's easier to spot, but once you get the muscle memory and you can spot the dot right away, you have it there, and you find out the big of a dot is a distraction. One of the reasons why I took the front side off. I know the humble marksman, he likes the co-witness, but for me, when I go like this and I see that front fiber optic, I see 2 dots and it's fucking with my head. It's just, I don't like it. So, another thing is the bigger window helps you track the dot, but again, once you get some experience, you don't need that big of a window. And I kind of found it out with, I found it out with my 365 XL and Romeo 0 with a little 3 MOA dot and a tiny window. I had no problem tracking the dot in a tiny gun, so it shouldn't be an issue in a gun like this. Now, when I go for a longer steel and just about close to 20 yards, I have a little 4-inch steel, and it's really hard to see when you hit it because it doesn't make that much noise. But that's where this 3 MOA shines, because I can put it in the middle of that 4-inch instead of 6 MOA kind of covers the whole thing. So I can take a little more precise shots. So here's a 6 MOA. Again, I'll put a picture somewhere over here. Both the dots side by side, so you can kind of be the judge. And you're gonna ask me, why didn't you get a Romeo 3 Max in the 3 MOA? Well, because it's a $600 sight, then I gotta spend another $50 for the mounting plate. With the Romeo 1 Pro, it sits lower. I think it's a better option, and I believe they're coming up with a new slide that Romeo 3 Max will bolt directly to it. Maybe they did, but the guns I have right now, I gotta work with what I got. Get this up a little bit. Again, dueling trigger and a 4-inch steel. I mean, it's not that you can't hit it with a 6 MOA. It's just so much nicer because you dot doesn't really cover the target all the way. So I'm not saying that's the way to go. Right now, this is what I'm gonna try for the rest of the season. I'm gonna go with the 3 MOA dot, and I guess we'll find out. There you have it. Battle of two optics. It seems like I'm battling something all the time. As always, have fun. Keep shooting.